Ooh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Casey Wilson.
Hi, Danielle Schneider.
It's Bitch Sesh, the Real Housewives breakdown show, and we are giddy.
I'm shaking. Honestly, my hands are clammy.
I know.
I've never been nervous.
I had to put on my non-healthy deodorant today.
I'm wearing the wrong bra. I'm upset.
I don't know how this is all going to turn out, but we're here.
We're queer. Get used to it. Your voice you've lost from excitement.
I've lost my voice. You've heard of hysterical blindness.
Yes.
Well, this is because of today. I just lost my voice, and I think it's with emotion.
Danielle, it's our 1-year anniversary of Bitch Sesh, and here we are with a very special episode.
Oh, yes, we are.
Much like when Diane Sawyer interviewed Fidel Castro, or when Barbara Walters interviewed Monica Lewinsky, or when Alexis Bellino interviewed that sex therapist on Good Day Live, we begin an interview with St. Andrew Cohen. He's the SJP for Housewives fans who's best friends with SJP in real life.
He fills our days with Radio Andy, our nights with Watch What Happens Live, and our souls with screaming women whose faces may or may not have settled. We have always considered him our patron saint of Bitch Sesh, and much like when Mother Teresa would touch those leper children to make them feel human, he graces us with his presence.
We're humbled. We're grateful. And the emotions are so high, and it's honestly triggering me in a good way. I think the only way we can bring him out is with a more kind of downbeat version of one of our favorite songs. So stupid.
Dreamcatcher, 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 whoa, whoa, whoa. Dreamcatcher, 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 whoa. This song was written by Badors,
And we'd like to call them to tour.
'cause our dreams are coming true.
Andy is here with me and you. Oop, not done yet.
Dreamcatcher,
Dreamcatcher.
dreamcatcher,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
dreamcatcher,
Dreamcatcher.
dreamcatcher. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please welcome Andrew Cohen.
Wow. Oh, my God. I'm speechless.
It's pretty poignant.
I thought when you started the song that you were going into Real Close by Danielle Staub.
Which we've also performed
Laurie
live.
Michaels, no doubt. But you really caught me off guard with the Dreamcatcher slowdown. And I loved it. I absolutely
you.
loved it. Shannon Bedore is very proud of Dreamcatcher.
As she
I don't
should
need to
be.
tell you that.
She should be.
I had Dreamcatcher in my ear more than anything when it came out. I mean, it was like
It's a gorgeous song.
It's an earworm.
It's haunting.
Yes.
It's feminist. It's everything, really.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also got like a Ramones flavor to it, and that it's like
Yes.
3 chords, but they're 3 great chords.
Great chords.
Great chords and great
In
great
succession,
lyrics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, so first we want to just talk about your book.
Okay.
It's a new book. It is called Superficial, More Adventures from the Andy Cohen Diaries, which has just come out and I believe is on the New York Times bestseller list.
It's true, yes.
That's so crazy.
It's true. Thank you. I'm really excited about it. And first of all, and congratulations on your year anniversary.
It is.
A.
Thank you.
B, I want to shout out your fans who are very passionate and who on this book tour are like, oh my God, I'm so excited that you're doing the show. So I'm so excited to be here. And I love your devotion and your passion and your humor and your boots on the ground. I love
we
the
scare
boots
you,
on the
Andy?
ground. No.
Are you wondering if we're well?
No, not whatsoever. Are you kidding me?
great.
You speak my language. And yeah, so I just want to say that.
Well, we've been reading the book, which is it's a companion piece, I would almost say, to the Andy Warhol Diaries, which I
Yes.
read growing up, loved so much.
Yes.
And this is your second book in kind of your diary. This chronicles 2 years in the life.
Yes.
And what an amazing 2 years.
What a life you
Great
lead.
2 years. And I think that I think everyone who likes pop culture or likes to laugh or dogs or anything can like the book. But I think for a Housewives fan, and that's why I'm so interested to know what you latched onto it. There are little teeny tidbits that are thrown in throughout the 2 years of just random texts I'm getting from people, housewives who are angry for me, or just moments.
Your book is like opening, you know those like, what are they called that you put on the plate like on New Year's and you pop it open, those poppers?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God. Like something so random will pop up.
Right.
Yes.
About like Jill Zarin's people presenting a PowerPoint.
That was so amazing.
Oh, right.
Did she put
No
that
one's
together?
picked up on that.
Oh, what?
It's everything. It's the only thing I picked up on.
Right. Yeah.
I was enthralled by that, and I was like, why am I not doing more PowerPoints? Not that it succeeded, but still.
Yeah. Like, is she sending that through the internet?
They did. One of her people did, I think. That was, well, if it's a dated entry, yes, it happened. And it was a PowerPoint of reasons why, Jill might be viable to be back on the show. By the way, they made some really compelling arguments.
Albeit unsuccessful arguments.
Ultimately, but you never know.
And also,
do we really never know?
I think we do never know.
Okay.
About what? Whether Jill will ever come back?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that's a closed, completely shut and locked door.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, you heard it here first.
I feel like your life in the book, it's equal parts fantasy in horror movie, honestly, because on the one hand, you're bopping to 5 Napkin Burger with SJP and James Wilkie, and then you're taking private planes with Bruce and Patty. But on the other hand, you're living my personal nightmare, which is that you're fielding texts from Naomi Campbell, Kathy Griffin, and Tamara Judge asking you to call them.
Yes.
That's my worst nightmare.
It is.
Terrifying. Every time you get a text, I'm like, don't open the door!
Again!
It is. Watching a horror movie, I'm like, don't go down in the basement!
So true. I was on stage in Chicago the other night, and the interviewer said, will you read me the last text you got? And I said, okay. And I looked, and it was from Kim Zolciak-Bierman, and it was her saying, Brielle and I are starting to think you're not gay, and like, I want to engage you on this topic. And I'm like, okay, this is the last exchange. And
this wasn't even one that you went through.
This wasn't even one that I went through. It was just the last exchange. So but I love, getting a text from anybody, especially kind of one of those 3 women lady saying,
driven's a nice euphemism.
Yes, it is. Saying, call me. It's all, and it's like, well, you call me. Why are you making me your slave?
I hate to say this because as Danielle and I are only marching towards death ourselves, but I feel like these housewives are older gals mostly from a different generation, and they want to get on the horn.
Right.
They're not, or do they want to text? They really want to make contact with you.
Yeah.
What do they want from you? Your soul?
Yes.
They do.
Yes. They want to yell at me. They want to, I got a text from Teresa this morning saying that she was, I kissed Leah Remini on the show last night, and Teresa texted and said, "Wow, oh, she was intrigued by the kiss."
She wanted to
Leah
know more.
Remini. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Do you have a separate burner phone for the housewives?
No, I don't.
Really?
No.
So they get in with all the riffraff, all that.
And is there a line they can cross with you, yelling at you, berating you, where you're just like, I'm done?
No. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I respond in my way. Sometimes I don't respond. Sometimes I think the most important thing to remember is I am actually in business with all of these women on several levels. So
don't forget it.
It's not something that it's a relationship that I do need to maintain. Tend to. Yeah. But I do try to, I don't know if it's in this book or the last one where
about
Gretchen.
Carol?
No. Well, no, I mean, it could be Gretchen texting me at like 2:30 in the morning, East Coast time. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what?
Sweetie.
Daddy is literally in bed. Like,
you are Daddy Warbucks.
Right.
And they are all little orphan Annie.
Right.
A hard knock motherfucking life.
And none of them want to go back to the orphanage.
No.
And that's just true.
No, it's true.
And if a PowerPoint can get them back off the streets, they'll do it. I'm interested with your relationship with Carol because I feel like there's lots of talks in your book about the kind of boundaries. And our friend Matt McConkey noted that you've got what did he say?
He said you have boundaries like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
Because you do. You know how to turn it off and on in terms of like, you set a boundary with them, and it seems like you keep them.
What do you do with the Carols and
the
the
Carol
Bethanies?
thing is interesting. Carol's a unique case, and because Carol and I have known each other, we met on a boat trip to Turkey in like 1998 or something. And
I feel like your life is like you just take different words and throw them from a bag and throw them up.
I know, and it doesn't even just start like 10 years ago.
I know it's a parody. I know I'm a parody of myself.
But
I love
20 years ago, you were on a boat trip to Turkey. Like 20 years ago, I was eating ramen.
Right.
Like, what? How are you?
I was dating a magician named Ashley, a male magician.
So was I, eating ramen. But and so I've known Carol a long time. And so it's a weird happenstance that one night, and I know I drop a lot of names and I know I'm a parody of myself. So I just want to put that out there.
I would like to say, please drop more.
Yes, I named the book Superficial so that I could just get ahead of all that. So that now when I say that, I was at a dinner at Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa's house, and Carol was there, and Carol dropped she dropped it in a way that she wasn't trying to be cool or anything, but somehow in conversation it came up that she was a princess by technically a princess. And I said, "Excuse me?" And it was when we were casting New York and we needed new housewives. And I was like, "You're a princess, Carol? I didn't know that." And then she said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow." I go, "You should be a New York housewife. Like, we have a countess. We need a princess."
Because with all due, as you would say to her,
Yes.
I think without the princess status, I don't know that she'd be crazy enough to join us, although I find her getting crazier.
Well, but I think she's a great voice of reason, and I think she has had her crazy moments, actually, weirdly, on the show. But when pushed by,
with the whole book, with the Bookgate thing, we saw a crazier side of her, which was refreshing.
Right. But anyway, so I'm talking too much about this, but I will jump forward and say she obviously did become a housewife. And you see in the book that I'm now trying to maintain the fact that this is someone that I've known for a long time. And I say to her in a moment where we're kind of trying to work things out between us, I say that I'm having a book party and that I'm not inviting her because if I invite her, I have to invite everybody because she at the moment was in production on the New York Housewives. So what happens is she goes to a shoot and she somehow, there's a photo of her at my book party and Ramona says, "Wait, Andy had a book party?"
I'd be terrified.
Even worse, it comes up at the reunion and then that everybody else wasn't invited. And that's not, I know that a lot of people think I do play favorites and a lot of the housewives think I play favorites, but I at least try not to. And by the way, if you invite all the New York housewives to your work party, guess who's right over the river?
Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then you got to invite all the jerseys. So these are things that I think about.
Yeah, because Carol it seems like wants to be your best friend and a housewife, but I do feel like it's like, sweetie, you can't run for condo board and still be a resident.
Right.
Though she was both.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
That's true.
The shows do get political.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And what about Bethany? Just quickly, like, what's that friendship? Is it a friendship?
It is. I think that it is a friendship. I think that it is, I want to choose my words carefully because everything gets blown out. But I think that there has been in the kind of people who write about the Housewives or talk about the Housewives, there is a misconception that Bethany and I are like that Bethany is an EP of the show or somehow has
like she's
control
sitting beside
or
Scott Dunlap.
Exactly. Or that Scott Dunlap, that's hilarious. Or that she has power into anything relating to the final cut of the show or what happens or this.
You know why I think it was, if I may?
Yes.
There was one moment in the reunion, and I rewatched it last night, actually, when you said to her, she's got something. It was about who had something, Ramona or Sonia? You were like, Ramona's got something.
Yeah.
And it almost looked a bit like you're like kind of feeding to her to kind of like bring it out in Ramona, even though I know that's not what you were doing. And since the whole Tom thing was so unexplained of like who was the bartender that saw Tom at Regency with Luann.
Right.
And look, you Danielle and I never check sources.
No.
And
we have spread misinformation proudly.
I know.
Proudly.
Well,
and you slapped us right back and
I
said
didn't
we were
slap
wrong.
you. I just DM'd you and said, look, here's some things.
You couldn't have been nicer.
You
were justified.
But the Bethany thing is interesting. I just think, it's funny because people think that I also favored her and there's favoritism. And then I remember, I will tell you after the reunion, she felt like I was all over her and unjustly, and I didn't, and so there's a blowing up of what that relationship means, I feel like.
Do you go to dinner alone that's not related to the show?
With Bethany?
Yeah.
I would say that I'm trying to think when the last time I actually had dinner with her alone. I think it's in the book after the last season wrapped. We had kind of a wrap dinner. And so not often there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were you as surprised as we were that she wanted to come back now that she has?
No, because I went to her house and I made a really, really great argument, and she's really smart. And, when I just think it was the right time and the right, so I was absolutely thrilled is the answer.
As were we. I think she jolted.
It was really
It was
great.
a nice jolt.
Yeah, it was great.
And in your book, you're friends with so many amazing people that I've Googled the Grosses and the this ones and the that ones. And I love those characters as a friend.
Those are my old friends.
It's
who are
such
like
a
my ride or
delight.
die. Thanks.
I'm also obsessed with your relationship with Bruce Bozzi.
Oh,
yes.
Don't even.
I've started following him on Instagram
God,
because
deep in his
of you.
Instagram.
Yes,
His daughter's so gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
and he knows how to relax.
He
knows how to do life.
He is married to Brian Lord, who runs
neat wife.
we
CAA.
know. This is all
And
information.
the funny thing is, Bruce would be the greatest first gay housewife of any house and put him on the Beverly Hills Housewives.
Have you ever thought of doing it?
Of course, but he has a temper like Teresa, which is amazing. Also, he's like
What's
a
the
hot-blooded
problem?
Italian. Well, Brian would divorce him if he ever went on that show. So that's the problem.
Wow. And I also love you. Much has been said about your friendship with Anderson Cooper, and I know you've answered a million questions that you guys never dated. But what I found the most kind of controversial and interesting is that he provides you with some fearless feedback in the book. You run into him on the street and he says, quote, Andy, you must do something about your teeth.
Yes.
There are a few things wrong with them he's wanted to tell you about for a long time.
Yes, and I wound up going to his dentist, who it turns out all the dentist and the hygienist are all huge Housewives fans. And
I think there's not a dentist hygienist in the world that doesn't love.
The dentist's wife came and was like, I made you chocolate. I'm like, so the dentist's wife is giving me sugar right now?
She wants to see you more.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And also, I was going to say that I love how everywhere you go, people are taking pictures of you. You sort of can't relax into your real life because everyone wants a little bit of a piece of you. So even if you are going to the dentist, going to work out, know, everybody kind of has a piece of you. How does that feel?
It feels fine. The truth is,
fine.
No, it feels, it's nice. There's a moment in Miami in the book where I'm on my last book tour where I do try to hug a woman to death.
Yes.
But, but mainly it's great. And I get it, and it's really nice.
Well, Anderson said
totally
to you,
flattered.
Yeah, Anderson said you enjoy being famous more than anyone in the world.
And I used to think that was kind of an insult, but I thought about it. And the truth is, I was not famous in New York City for 20 years. And then I became famous, and I could get into restaurants, and I could, people started giving me things. And I was like, yeah, I think I do like this, actually.
Why not?
What's the problem? But, the Housewives are a really interesting example of people who they are real people and then they become famous. And I think part of the fun or horror for all of us is seeing how they react to that fame. And
we're going to get to that.
Yeah,
Andy.
Okay.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, but we're going to really dig into that concept.
Good.
I am curious, and many, you're so social, which I admire so much about you. You bop from one event to another event, and you have a packed schedule. And then there was one night in your book, which I loved, where you were sadly home alone. It was like the one night in many weeks where you were in your kitchen alone sipping on some Ramona Pinot Grigio.
Yes.
Was that because you had paired it with 2 slices of pizza and you were down?
No, it's because Ramona sent me a case of Pinot Grigio, which I had in my office for a long time and finally brought home and put in the fridge. And you know what? It's good.
I accidentally served it for Thanksgiving last year, and I didn't hear any complaints.
No, it's good. It's good.
But it was shocking to see, and I popped open with a pizza, and I was like, did he choose it?
Yes.
I was very curious about that.
Yeah.
I had a question. it seems to me that famous people tell you things. They open up to you, like immediately. Like when Connie Chung told you that she said, and I quote,
that Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan were wretched little wenches.
And that was amazing. But I do think people want to open up to you. What do you think it is about you that people are like, I trust this guy. I'm going to tell him everything.
I think that I hopefully they know that I'm celebratory of them and I'm not out to get anybody, but that I also think people know that I'm going to go there in a way that I got training in terms of going there from interviewing the housewives. And then when I started interviewing actual celebrities on Watch What Happens Live, I just felt like I wanted to be as Howard Stern as I could in late night and, try to ply them, with alcohol and get information out of them.
It's such an amazing kind of job you've carved out for yourself within this franchise, which, the world had never seen anything like, where you were the kind of you're like in The Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain kind of for all of them. But then the way you deal with them is so amazing.
Well, it's classy. You don't look down on anybody.
Yes. No, well, I don't look down on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I really
and
don't.
They feel that.
Love.
They feel that.
Right.
Because that's how we feel.
When Teresa says you're like a lamb in... What did she say? Not a sheep and lamb.
Oh, yes. Well, you have to make fun of that.
Then I do have to, look at the camera and wink to the audience and say, we are...
But you're the best at playing both sides of the line, be it with the audience and the housewives or against two housewives or, and in your book, you guys, everyone really, really, really needs to pick it up. There's not only housewives gossip, just so many amazing things. And you make some transitions in the book that I applaud you for.
Okay.
At one point, you're the only person I think who could get away with calling the Ferguson tragedy Ferguson Mishigosh.
Yes.
That was
a
beautiful.
Mishigosh. Yes.
And later you pull off this transition where you say, and I quote, I don't know how I did it, but I took a poop in the American Airlines lounge, and right before we took off, I got a PDF of my pick in People Mag's Sexiest Men issue. It looks great. And that was an emotional roller coaster of a line.
Yes, it was.
We've gone on a few of
every
those
single
journeys.
Line is packed with just amazing tidbits.
The gentleman that I'm seeing thinks that I have
Brazilian
too many,
Andy Samberg?
Yes, that I have too many run-on sentences in the book and that it needs more punctuation.
No, I would say less punctuation.
Yes, right.
And I was both reading it and listening to the audiobook. I really recommend the audiobook.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, there's some like special features, like you say, like, hey, everybody, I'm going to try saying Jewish sushi chef. You know what I mean? Like, you get some extras, some bonuses, which I appreciate.
It's really fun.
Yes.
And
I speak directly when I'm reading the book. I speak directly to the listener.
I feel like you apologized a few times.
I know I did.
So I really felt like I was there. Yeah. And to hear your real feelings about things, like, again, it's when you hear someone, the intention behind their voice, it's everything.
Yes.
And sometimes you give such side eye in the book that it's beautiful.
It's really great. And to kind of wrap up just a bit about the book, but we really loved the book so much, is the part that kind of summed up the whole book why I loved it so much was, and if I may, I would read a little back and forth that you write between you and a man that I'll be honest, I don't love him.
Okay.
His name is Dimitri. He is the smug, gossipy maitre d' at Sunset Tower, and I've had a run-in with him I won't get into now. But at one point, Dimitri, and this is kind of a runner with you and him, and he says, you can't believe the night. It was amazing. You missed it. And you said, well, the night is still going. I didn't miss anything. And Dimitri says, no. You can't believe what happened here. And you say, well, I'm still in the present, so please let me feel like it's still happening. And I feel like by sharing your diary
with us. last night to me at the tower, too.
Again.
You feel like sharing... Go on.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like you sharing this diary and all your comings and goings and run-ins and your dust-ups, we get to be there with you, and the night is still going for us. And it's so fun.
Thank you.
And as everyone goes into their Christmas vacations right now, and you're all with, people that you hate and you're supposed to love. No, let's be honest. People you hate that you're supposed to love and in locations that are terrible.
All your relatives that voted for Jill Stein.
Yeah, this is a vacation for your brain.
And your heart.
And it's lovely, and it's funny, and it's sweet, and I adored it, and it's a fast read, and I hope everyone runs out and listens and buys the book like we did, because you get it on both ends.
Thank you so much.
You get it in every hole. So that's our book portion, Andy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Now we're going to make a not very smooth transition, right?
It's not as smooth as your transition, Andy.
Yeah, exactly.
So forgive us.
Right.
But it is kind of, we're shitting and now we're talking about sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
So these are just some questions about housewives in general.
We'll start with the OC, because it's the OG.
Okay.
So Okay. Ooh, that's a tough one. Right up top. It's a hard one.
Go for it.
Okay. So we've heard from a few fans about kind of an unlikely house husband who might be allegedly on the DL. Now, Danielle and I make a firm policy to never call anyone out, especially since we never check our sources. But we're hoping you will not be of that mindset.
Who?
So this came up at a show of ours, and someone said they had seen
him out at bars.
No way.
And many. It's a friend of yours. It is Jim Edmonds.
Oh, wow. I don't think that Jim Edmonds is gay. I really don't.
We take no stance on this.
Yes.
No, I know. That's fine. He's had 4 wives. He, I think he's like a ball player. No, maybe he's had 3 wives, actually. He's had 3. And that doesn't actually mean that he's not gay. But I have hung out with this guy. I feel like I have a good gaydar. I'm not someone who, there are some gay guys who are like, oh my God, Tom Cruise is gay. This one's gay. That one's gay. I'm not that guy. Like I call it as I see it.
So badly to ask.
Oh my God, ask me anything. I don't think that he is gay. No, I really don't. I don't get a gay vibe off of him.
Do you think that he saw how he was in his first season and then decided to lean in to being even worse?
I think
he said, I'm going to go the other way.
I actually love it that, first of all, I thought that he really redeemed himself at the reunion last year, that he came to the reunion and he talked about having the camera there, and it was not his favorite thing to have the camera there, but he knew that it was kind of part of the deal. He comes off really, he comes off as not giving a shit, basically, I guess, putting it nicely. But he
cares about candles.
He cares about candles. He cares about Meg. He cares about Aspen, their new daughter.
Yes.
And I saw him and Meg in St. Louis last week. They showed up at a book event that I was doing, and she had the baby like 2 days later. And look, I just think he is someone who the camera picks up shitty moments of his, and they're real. And
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did a little video for a live show where we went to Orange County and we trained with Mia, the trainer.
Okay, yeah.
And she said Danielle was skinny fat and I was fat. Anyway, doesn't matter. We were
tough but fair.
Tough but fair. Yeah. So then we went to Cut Fitness, and we were literally just going to take a picture out front, and literally the door opened, and Eddie Judge was there with his cut off, and
gorgeous.
I was like, I'm so sorry, we're not here. We really weren't trying to.
Casey kept telling him we're real,
but that's the opposite of what we are. And then he's like, "Are you kidding? Like, bring all the cameras!" And like he was so fine with it and generous and sweet. And I just have to say, I didn't get any good vibe of him.
No,
whatsoever.
not at all.
No, he. I don't think Eddie's gay either.
Not at all. I don't.
There's a delicateness about. First of all, Jim Edmonds has really black eyelashes, which makes it look like he's wearing eyeliner almost because his eyes pop.
Is that what makes him look like he's in gay bars?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
And, we had a little run-in with Tamara on Twitter that took me really by surprise. I'm still.
happens.
If this is a millionth of what you get, I don't know how you deal.
I'm honestly shaken like a rattle.
Really?
We have not recovered.
No, she was
still
so
scared.
upset, and I don't know why. She kept saying, which I get that this is how you slam someone. She kept being like, just so you know, I had no idea who you girls were before this. I'm like, that's right. Okay. Like, we get it. You don't know us.
Tamara,
I kept saying, I'm a mom, and I'm a...
Tamara also loves calling people fame whores, and she'll call everyone, you're a fame whore.
And she loves this emoji. A lot of those.
The
and
wink with
the
the
wink
eye
with
open, the mouth
and the
open.
tongue out. She was very upset, seemingly, that we went and trained with Mia somewhere else, but not at Cut.
Oh.
And then she was upset that she thought...
She had heard that...
Yeah, I don't even know. Truly, I kind of stopped engaging. Oh, no, it's not your fault. But she's terrifying with love.
But to get a text from her at 3 a.m. would be the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And we did.
I can just only imagine what you were dealing with. But let's transition smoothly into Heather.
Okay.
Heather.
She had a tough season.
Mm-hmm. She lost me a little while ago when she buried the time capsule of well wishes under the ground of her multi-million-dollar home, and when she released a webisode, Heather's Closet, the day after Trump won. But
yeah, that was talk about tough transitions from Trump winning to Heather's Closet. It was rough.
Uh-huh.
But Heather, I used to really like Heather because I thought, oh, she's cool and she's an actress and she's kind of. I don't know. I really used to really, really like her, and I've turned on her pretty hard
as well.
Okay.
I guess there's no question there, Andy.
Right. Okay. Well, I sometimes
have you seen a change?
Sometimes people need to testify to me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Have you seen
I'll
a change?
take that in. Excuse me. Have I seen a change
Like too
in
big
Heather?
for her britches at this point.
I think that she, she's got more, have I seen a change? I don't know.
All right. We'll take that.
This was also asked at our live show, and it's a tough one.
Okay. Kelly Dodd?
No.
Okay.
I wish.
Okay.
No, there was a question that, you remember when Heather went crazy at the paper oriental walls or whatever she kept saying about like the walls in the, what restaurant was it?
Oh, it was.
Oh, yeah, the sushi restaurant. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
With the
Kelly.
paper thin walls?
Yes.
It was great to see during the reunion that footage of her in flip-flops.
Yeah.
How dare you
Yeah.
guys play that? You burned her so bad.
Did you love that?
You
I
put kerosene and just lit her on fire.
I literally started screaming watching that.
I was like, there she is, and I knew she was a monster, and there it is.
and in flip-flops, no less.
Oh, it was so thrilling to hear. This is unacceptable.
Oh, you guys. I love when you
it
and
was
the
so
editors
thrilling.
play God like
Because
that.
you know what? You've never really done that. That's why it was doubly amazing.
It was definitely.
Were there discussions behind the scenes of
yes.
weather too?
Yes. Yeah, there were. And then, but it seemed appropriate to exactly the conversation. Kelly was saying, I heard you saying this behind the scenes, and we did have the footage, and so we put it in.
Now, what we had heard is that she claimed on the reunion that it was because Terry's brother had passed,
Yes,
and that was
right.
the last
And
time
then
they were
yeah.
kind of final supper there. And what we had heard is actually Terry has cheated on Heather, and Kelly brought that up to her under her breath, and that's why Heather went crazy.
I feel like if that had happened, we would. You have to understand. I think that's one of the things I DM'd you about that day when you said. You had said on the podcast that I heard that you had heard that the cameras were there the night that Tom was making out.
Yes.
And what I DM'd you is, I promise you, if the cameras were there, we would have shown it. And so if this moment had happened under the breath, we would have put it in.
Even with something as dark as that?
Yeah. Well,
So
as someone cheating on... I mean, look, there have been allegations of cheating they're all making allegations of cheating.
If a housewife comes to you sobbing and they say, Andy, please, this for my family, for my kids, I cannot have that on there.
I think it really is a case by case. It really depends what it is.
And if you've said, yes, I'm not going to show that, do the other housewives have to comply?
That's the thing. I mean, you're setting a precedent. You're also, you can't guarantee that the other housewives aren't going to then, you remember that thing with Adrian's kids?
Yes, with Brandy.
Several seasons ago on Beverly Hills, where it was like that horrible thing where it wasn't being talked about on the air, but then of course it played out in Us Magazine and everything, and it was this very convoluted thing. So it's hard because when you do wind up leaving something else, I think that was about the paternity or something of her kids, which wound up being left out of the show and then wound up playing out somewhere else. So it's difficult because it doesn't always work out. Once the genie's out of the bottle, it's hard to put back in, is what I'm saying.
And I just want to give a compliment. I love the emotional layering that I'm realizing that happens that I think we all love with the Housewives, which is that there's first the season, then the time passes, then everyone's watching the episode, and they're coming to that reunion
on Twitter, and then it goes to the reunion.
And they're so hot when they come.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for adding the behind the scenes.
We love that.
Yes.
To see where they're all out, to see them in their day clothes.
And to see you in plain clothes, easy breezy cover girl, walking through the halls.
Easy breezy cover
I love
girl.
it.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's
nice.
a new addition, and I'm liking it. Keep
Oh,
up
good.
with that. I
Okay.
think the fans love that.
Okay, good.
Andy, why weren't the cameras rolling late night in Ireland? Could there be a
that's-
shell crew or like a bare bones crew?
I know.
Skeleton
And
crew.
actually, Heather got a lot of shit on social media because Vicky or someone was like, "You're filming this? How dare you?" And I said to Heather before that reunion, because I don't think I had seen her, and I said, "Look, I just want to clarify because I wasn't going to bring it up on the show." I said, "It is my hunch as an executive producer that you started filming because you're on a reality show and everyone was fighting." And she said, "That's exactly." She said, "We're told that if something happens, kind of record it if a camera isn't around. So in her defense, that's what she did. And so I'm glad she did it.
Look, I'm so glad she did it. But I do feel like Heather's always got her mind, like she's one eye on the production as an actress that feels a little, to me, kind of false.
Well, Megan called her out on that this season when she said, I know you're TV, Heather. You know what I mean? Which is like
that was
her
interesting.
personality.
It was interesting that Megan became the voice of reason on the OC Housewives this season. No?
Oh, Andy. Megan, she's going to go, right?
We feel like it was her swan song.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, she had the baby. She's in St. Louis. I don't know what's going to happen.
You know, I think she's good.
I think we've seen our arc.
With love.
With love.
With love.
Now, Terry.
Yes,
Terry. Do you like Terry?
I like everyone.
Okay. Great.
Do you like that he always wears a leather jacket?
That's his look.
Even to a wedding?
Look. Yes.
Even to a wedding.
Right.
I love that Terry, it was like, Terry can't go to any of his kids' events, and then I see him like cozied up for David Bedore's like vow renewal.
I know.
So good.
Like, you got out of that nose job for this one.
There were a couple questions and I think an intro that we wound up cutting for time at the OC reunion where I was so brutal on Terry Dubrow. I was like, Terry Dubrow, who has not seen his children in 2 years, absentee dad, Terry, and Heather kept being like, what are you talking about? You know,
she's the one that says it. We're just picking up on her vibe.
Exactly.
And his kids even say it themselves. And he's like, you're right. I'm going to go to this dinner alone with you. And I'm going to complain about not seeing my kids and then not see them.
That's the part about Heather. She wants to like orchestrate her storylines, you can tell, but then she's not willing to stand behind them. Andy,
yes.
The trips. We have a lot of questions.
So many questions.
You want to know who pays for the trips?
Possibly.
You know what?
Another question.
Okay, here's the thing. The trips have evolved from being these organic moments where it's like, I'm trying to think what the first trips were. Morocco was a really early trip, and Morocco's a really good example of Luann actually knew a lot of people in Morocco, and so did Sonia, and they wanted to, bring people. And Luann, they worked on, I know people and they can get us in this place and they can get us this Habib for cheap, whatever it is. So,
and are you on the emails where everyone's trying to pull this together, or is that just a different production side?
When I was in charge of programming at Bravo, I was on more of those emails, 100%. And so thankfully I've now stepped back from those emails.
I like that for you.
But I still, I got, Heather Dubrow was texting me last season saying, how great would it be if we went to Israel
She's like, if we took a vacation to my house.
Right. On Orange
my
County.
closet.
Right. But so the answer is that production winds up paying for most of the trips.
Like Megan's ancestry trip to Ireland.
Right.
Was that a written idea?
No, the thing is, some of the trips are more organic than others. That's all I will say.
They're organic. I'd rather they not be.
But what we found is that the trips work for the show. So now it's like we're almost and the setup for that Ireland trip was so bad. It's like they were at Heather's party and then they're like, we're going to Ireland tomorrow. Yay. Okay. Great. Let's go.
I loved
it. So it's like I go, and when I was watching the cut of that, I go, so we're not even trying anymore, or what's happening? But
I like that.
But
it's just
But on some they are totally, and there was a lot of flack on for New York last season about Bethany's trip to Mexico, and Bethany saying, I don't want Sonia to go because, but the truth of the matter of that trip was Bethany was going to pay out of her pocket for a big chunk of that trip because she had, I think, a new tequila or something happening. Mm-hmm. And it was in her best interest to have us go down there because she wanted to take a tour of the tequila factory, which is great promotion for her.
That was obvious. It was for her, yeah.
But so for her, she was like, look, if Jim Beam doesn't think it's good to have Sonia at a tequila factory, then and I'm paying for a lot of this. So that was a real thing. So, and people were tweeting those saying, how can you do that? You're letting her run the show, whatever. Well, it's like, you know what? This actually is kind of her trip.
And that explains a lot.
And it does. So the answer with the trips is it's all over the map, case by case. Sometimes they are, so yeah.
But then there are times when it's just Dorinda's house in the Berkshires.
Yes.
And she says, I don't want Sonia there. Do they, or someone, or Shannon was like, I'm not going to Glamis because of my allergies.
Right.
So like, sometimes it feels like silly
But
excuses.
do you guys get upset when they say
real.
I'm not going to go? Or do you know that you play the long game, which is down the line, there'll be fallout for the person that wasn't invited?
It's a case-by-case situation. Great. On the Bethany, Mexico situation, I remember having a conversation with her and saying, maybe there's a way that you could work it out that Sonia doesn't come to the tequila factory but goes on part of the trip. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's something you would be willing to consider.
Of course, we didn't realize it would end up with Bethany taking a trip to Home Goods and bleeding all over the aisle.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Glad that was clear.
So it ended terribly for everybody.
Right.
Thank you for that about the trips.
That was important.
So do you ever, though, there are times when someone's just like not going to enough events and you're like, we're paying you, like you need to be there?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, again, it depends. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe someone's ostracized. Maybe there's a larger issue. It's usually for a reason that will play out in story that is real to the show.
On the reunions, Andy, is there a color scheme that's given to the women beforehand?
That's a good question. By the stylists, there might be, and sometimes
they always look very good together.
Yeah, I know that in New York, I know the women work with stylists now to figure out. But it's weird because sometimes the answer is I don't know. I know that in New York, a lot of time I'll get an email saying all the women are going to wear black this year to New York. And I'm like, great, I love it. I'm going to wear black too, whatever. But I don't know is the answer.
And okay, who pays for hair and makeup? Are they responsible on their own?
They are.
Or are they doing it on their own somehow?
Sometimes they're doing it on their
Kyle,
own.
we've seen.
I think that probably for all of the sit-down interviews, we pay for hair and makeup.
That's clear.
And I think for the rest, if they want hair and makeup, that's on them.
Because it's a heavier hand in the testimonial looks, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah, but Erica Jane has like round-the-clock care.
Does Heather bring a crew to Ireland?
She does. Does Heather what?
Bring a makeup artist with her? Or find someone locally?
That's a good question. Don't know.
Do you believe that Vicky knew Brooks had cancer?
I think that she thought he had something.
Do you think Brooks had cancer?
I don't know. I don't know.
Will Vicky ever be fired? I don't want her to. I hope not.
I think Vicky is really, and there's some funny moments in the book where I talk about, I was at a Bravo up front and Tamra and Shannon, I think, or some combination, maybe it was Heather and Shannon, they were like, that if this cancer stuff turns out to be true, Vicky's off the show. And I was like, sweetie, wait a minute.
Sweetie, she'll only climb higher.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe the question for Vicky then becomes, why did you do that? If that was the thing, let's dig deeper. Like what motivated her? Is love that important?
Were you upset or weirded out? Or how did you feel when she said, this is my show?
I loved it.
Me too.
I think that's why we love Vicky.
And everybody needs to get in line and know their place.
I love it. It's great.
Why is Gina Kehoe gone?
I love Gina Kehoe.
Me too.
Gina Kehoe, I think, is great to have around. She still lives next door to Vicky. Gina Kehoe is
she's like a seasoning, not a
maybe.
main dish.
She's an interesting example, I think, though, of someone who doesn't want to go all in. I think Camille is similar. Like they like to be around, but they don't want to kind of reveal everything.
Yeah, I hear that.
Well, we have to move on. I just realized we just got through one city. So we're going to go through some rapid fire questions.
Yes.
I'm here for you.
There's just so much to ask you.
Okay. Who comes up with the taglines and how many shots of them do they get in recording them?
Oh my God, the recording of the taglines. And if you follow me on Instagram stories, and I'll do it again in the next couple of days, I've been doing rejected taglines and I film myself listening to the ones we don't choose.
How did I not hear that? I don't know.
And so sometimes they come up with their own. Sometimes we do. Sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes it's something they've actually said while shooting.
How many shots are they getting recording it?
a lot because I'm always like, I remember with charades this year, I was like, can you please ever do this for the 30th time? And like, her tagline is, don't call it a comeback, call it a takeover. I'm like, she needs to be serving in this. She needs to be,
Kenya's is strange. Kenya's,
well, it's
more,
just her emphasis. Her emphasis when she goes, unless you twirl for me.
I know.
It's like she's punching the wrong words.
Sonia's, we used the wrong take. Somehow it got changed. Sonia's last season was, if being Sonia is so wrong, why does it feel so right? She that was the one that I wanted them to use, and somehow in the show they brought it down a little. I'm like, you need to use the crazy. Why did you change this?
As a general note, I feel like never bring it down.
I think in general, I love Kyle. Kyle in 6 out of 7 of her taglines has mentioned Beverly Hills. Like in Beverly Hills, so
she's like at the Beverly Hills Commerce Party.
I know. I like it when she does that. I like it when Sonia refers to Sonia in her intro. She's done that a bunch.
Sonia's the best.
Yeah, I agree. We've let Ramona do that a few times. Yeah.
Okay. Two quick Atlanta questions.
Okay.
Has Mama Joyce jumped the shark?
No.
Wow, great.
No, absolutely not.
Did her and Sheree know they had the same hair?
No, I don't think so. My favorite thing, when they're all sitting around, first of all, eating like they hadn't eaten, like it was 1,000 Yum Kippers.
And Candy looks amazing, but never not eating.
Just shoving food in there. I'm like, was laser tag? Like, did you do it for 18 days? And then that they're fine. I just love it that Candy's shoving the food in their mouth.
Every single shot of Candy.
And then she's like with your Mama Joyce wig, and Candy's like, hold up.
But with like a brisket in her mouth.
I know, she didn't even drop it. She was still chewing. She was like, you don't talk about my mom.
I have a special question about Candy.
I hope you all notice that we always leave in what they're ordering at every.
It's a question.
Okay, good. Yes,
I said thank you.
Purposeful.
It's not a question.
Yes. Okay, go on. What was your comment about Candy?
Bless you for that, and also packing. Thank you for the packing
always the
scenes.
packing.
And
that is, you can thank Sherry Levine at Bravo for the packing.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, Sherry. I've noticed the little interstitial one that's just like a fuck all. Like the fun one when the jokey music comes on is kind of gone.
The Podbuster it was called. Yes.
Great.
The Podbuster's gone. Oh. You had a question about Candy. Yes.
It seems as of recently that she is on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she is on a different show.
Is she filming a show within it?
Within the show.
What do you mean?
Because she's always with Mama Joyce.
Yes.
Or Todd.
Right.
Or the new ace in her hole.
Yes.
And now she's with neck tattoo boxer.
Block.
And
no, she's, you know what? Candy always has a lot going on at the Candy Factory and in Candy's personal life.
It doesn't seem that much is going on at the Candy Factory.
Did you see the aerial shot of Candy's house that we showed recently? I paused it. I was like, whoa, hold up. Yeah. This is like a massive compound.
The best aerial shot was from Chateau Charest all the way to Moore Manor.
That was good.
Which brings us to, would you rather?
Which? Oh, yeah. Would you rather live?
Moore Manor, by the way, is way more, it's more kind of in the vein of Delano Hotel, which I like in Miami.
I like Moore Manor.
I like it's really pretty. I haven't seen the finished product of Chateau with Charest, which you will see in the finale of the Atlanta Housewives.
This new trope of
You'll
house
see
wars is so
her
good.
housewarming party. Oh, it's only the greatest.
I love it.
See, I'm a Kenya Moore fan.
I've been wanting to get Charest back for so long.
I love Charest.
Me too.
It's Danielle's favorite.
She's my favorite.
Yes, I love
is
Sheree.
Flawless.
What Kenya said, shit by Sheree. What did she call it? It was so good.
Her and Bob.
Yeah.
I know and also her, he's literally saying, yes, I cheated on you, and she just got an egg roll in her mouth. It's just like, I would have food down at that moment and be taking it in.
New Jersey question, we just have one. Has Jacqueline always been this crazy? The other women are insinuating it, but we haven't kind of seen it, but now it's all we can see.
I think that I don't think she's changed that much. I think, yeah.
She seems
unwell. Okay, I don't even have Beverly Hills questions. I feel like we know them. Danielle?
Yes, I would say, here's two real quick. Kim D or the morally corrupt Faye Resnick?
Interesting. Wow. Who would I choose?
Yeah.
Who's more important? Who's a more important side player? Well, I have to say that in terms of side players, Jersey really, well, New York, you got to give it, and Atlanta. But,
Atlanta has amazing
Jersey has amazing side players. I just have to shout that out separately.
Yes.
And I always love a Kim D. And I'm the guy who's always like, we need to put Kim D in the Super Teas. People need to know that they are going to get a Kim D moment
She's
this
a strong
season.
flavor.
I love Kim D. Kim D or Faye Resnick. I'm trying to, without Kim D, you have no posh fashion show. So
Yes.
it's hard. But then again, I mean, Faye Resnick has provided us against her will with so much fodder.
Will you ever do a Housewives like fantasy reality, like a team of just the best players from
When
each?
the show is really running out of steam and it's like no one is really watching.
Which will never be.
I know. We'll put 10 on an island.
I love that you admit that you're willing to get there. Like you're not going to take it off the air like Seinfeld.
Oh, no. If that happens, then we will put 10 on an island and do like 24 episodes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which franchise do you think is the funniest? We think Atlanta.
To me, it's between Atlanta and New York. But really close race, maybe with Atlanta, a little ahead. To me, I don't know. They're both so funny. But to me, New York is wildly, wildly funny.
What did you make when Jules wrapped up her cutlery in a calzone?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Were you shocked when you saw it?
Yeah. I had heard about it way before I saw it.
You heard tell.
He gets dispatches. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I do. I get field reports
we
from
know.
every city.
How many cuts do you have to watch of each episode?
I used to watch 3 cuts of every episode before it went on. Now,
Andy, no.
No, I now only watch like Fine Cut 2. So I'm late in the process and they send it to me when it's almost done. And my notes they've gone from, pages to very few.
I have to shout out the editors. They are doing the Lord's work.
Incredible.
And they
Pointing up the joke in a way that is
Yes.
so good.
And I feel like that they've taken liberties this year that I'm enjoying.
Oh, good.
They're making shot choices.
Yeah.
And they are punctuating things with music. Bravo.
Good.
Bravo.
Okay. Who would you say, which house husband?
This is the greatest interview.
Okay, we're going to
You guys
run
are
through
doing
these
a
quick.
great job.
We're frantically trying to get these. Jim Bellino or Jim Marchese?
Which one?
Do you like in general?
If you had to just take one over the other.
Oh, Jim Bellino.
We are going to go to a trampoline park.
Yeah, we just want to check it out.
If it's still with us.
Yes.
Oh, it is. It's expanded.
Yeah.
It seems like in Atlanta this season, this is Cynthia Bailey's swan song in a beautiful
It
way.
does?
It feels like, and now
Wow.
Cynthia's
She's
the
giving
most
us
gorgeous.
hair.
I love her.
Oh, listen, she's given us the best hair.
But she's giving us
She's giving us
hair,
everything.
and beauty. I mean, I could just look at her. I don't need
agree.
much
Feels
more.
like we're in the process of saying goodbye.
I don't get that sense, but I will take that under advisement.
Is Kyle Richards a good person?
I think Kyle, I'm always surprised by the passion and fury that surrounds Kyle from a lot of viewers who have very strong opinions and see things in her that are not positive. And so I think she's more controversial than I think I ever realized. But to me, she is a flagship of that show.
Are you as glad as we were when she cut her hair?
Did she cut her hair?
Yeah.
Not short enough, but she
Really?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be at the Beverly Hills Housewives premiere
Tell her
party tonight.
thank you.
Is Kelly coming back?
Kelly Dodd?
Yeah.
Unclear. We're figuring that out right
Are
now.
her boobs real?
I think they are.
I do
I
too.
think they're luscious
That was
and
you know what?
amazing.
She came and sat down at that reunion, and I go, "Whoa!"
Whoa.
And Heather's like, "They're big, aren't they? Can you believe it?" Like I was like, "Oh my god, I did. I don't think I realized it."
But they're big, and that wasn't a great dress she wore at the reunion.
right.
But
Did
mostly
she have a keyhole at the reunion? Yeah,
it was
she needed to just,
unfortunate.
as my grandma would say, hitch up her bosoms.
they were
Just hitch them up a little.
separated a little bit.
but they were
I
all
think-
over the place.
I
They were
think she's a
amorphous.
beautiful, beautiful girl.
yes, she
Yes.
is.
Okay, Jules, Kristen Teichman, Tootie, or Megan King Edmonds?
Tootie.
Great.
Is Tootie coming back? No, Tootie's not
Tootie's
back.
no longer
She's
with
gone.
us.
Yeah.
Quickly, would you like Danielle's Jewish embryos or my half-Jewish embryos? They're both chilling in a storage bank in Redondo.
Yours
That's a
are
no.
full Jew.
Mine are 3/4 Jew.
Wow.
Hers are half.
Well, speaking of our husbands, Andy, in your book, you have an amazing section about how you had a threesome with a fan.
Yes.
And a male fan who was not gay.
Right. No, it was really, the female was really the big fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Danielle and I are obviously fans, and we don't want you to choose between
Five-way
us because
with
that's
the
too hard.
husbands?
Well, we brought a photo of both of our husbands
Oh,
side
okay,
by
great.
side.
And you have to
Let's see.
choose.
We're not
Okay.
going to tell you who's the
Oh, good. Okay, good. Oh,
and
this
then
is so
you
fun.
will then have to have sex with him and one.
Okay, great. Oh, show
You
me the
have it,
photo.
Dee?
Yes, I have this.
Oh my God, this is only the
And
best. thing.
please know one of their feelings will be hurt.
These are our husbands.
Wow. The guy on the right.
That is David.
What?
Is that
My right? Oh, you're right.
Which
So it
one?
No,
is.
this guy.
That's
Okay. That's my husband, David.
Okay.
And I look forward to making sweet love to you.
And my husband did say that this photo is not going to get me laid.
And I have to say, when I saw it, I said, I'm all over Matt.
And I said, I think he's going to be into David.
Matt Besser's gotten quite a group of ladies in his day,
He
including
sure
this
has.
little hot number right here, Danielle.
Well, you know.
Thank you, Andy. Now,
Hold on. Your husband has been with Danielle?
No,
no, but I
no,
have
no,
said
no.
to my husband, if I die, please
Marry
and
Danielle.
something, and I
Happens
hate to
to
say
your
that Matt dies.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
God
okay.
forbid.
Right. Okay, that's
I
nice.
permit you to join families and
That's
raise our
nice.
children.
Thank you. I appreciate
Very
that.
quickly, Andy, and we're getting to the end here. I know you were upset to sign a Danielle, but maybe you'll sign Danielle's book at the end.
You said you didn't like to sign the name Danielle.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
funny. No, it was just long names. I was saying.
No.
There were some long-
Understandable.
Yes.
One last question. Wednesday, or not the last, but Wednesday, August 12th, 2015, you said in your book, taped a show with Kim Zolciak and Angela Kinsey. No one else you want to mention?
Any bartender?
Oh, you were the bartender. Oh my God.
So if you want to print a retraction, whatever.
And Andy, on Friday, September 26, 2014, you stated, saw Gone Girl with John Hill. We love the movie. Did you want to add anything about the performance of Noelle, the annoying neighbor? We can still print retractions.
I mean,
How
you
did
can
that
still
get edited
reprint.
out?
I don't know. It must have been a weird editor.
Yes.
Andy, is there anything else you want to say before we have a little closing?
I love you guys. Can I give you my present that I brought you?
What? We have a present for you.
Okay. I have a present for you that I am
I've never been more excited.
about. Okay. I have taken out the bag, which is, what does the bag say?
Kyle by Aileen 2.
Okay. Now, this is something that was given to me as a gift by Kyle Richards when her store opened like 2 years ago. And it was hanging in my closet. And a few weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, I need these to be reproduced because I need to bring you guys something special for your year anniversary and your perfect devotion to these perfect shows.
Wow.
And so I called Kyle. And I said, no, this is from Kyle Richards, made this happen, okay? So I called her and I said, I need these made. This is the date that I need them by. This is very important. So now these are, okay, so now.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
These are bedazzled shirts that have my face and Mazel, and these are Swarovski crystals.
Oh my
But this
God.
is on like kind of a jersey baseball top. But this is the best part of it.
I'll wear it in my grave.
On the back, bedazzled, it says Kyle by
Oh
Aileen
my God.
2.
Andy,
And
I will be buried in
I
it.
have 4 for you.
April can have one.
So I feel like these could maybe be your touring shirts.
Oh my
or
God,
I don't know what.
They're everything
then
to me.
You,
Just
yes.
think this is a nice fabric.
And then Kyle left a note in the bag with my name on it, so you can just have that
Oh,
too.
Andy.
Thank you, Andy. And we
You're
have
so
some
welcome.
pot
It's a
Rice
bitch-
Krispie treats for
Oh,
you.
really? Oh,
And
my
gummy bears.
Oh, this is fantastic.
yeah.
Yes.
This is amazing.
And gummy bears.
Well, then we all really got great
We
gifts.
all win.
Thank you.
Andy, before we go,
Okay.
we cannot thank you enough for taking the time to be here
Of
during
course.
your very busy schedule.
Yes.
We just wanted to leave you, and I know you're being held hostage here as we perform, and no one loves it.
I love it.
But we know it's holiday time, and this is our anniversary show, and we have the boot on the ground, our most important guest. And people say there's no new holiday classics that come out, and I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. We'd like to just take you back a year from now in simpler times to the Berkshires.
Yes.
And this will be a song sung by Danielle as Mr. Inda Medley, and it is called Christmas in the Berkshires.
Okay, good.
Please enjoy. And Danielle's
Again,
not
I'm
in
hoarse.
full voice.
It's Christmas in the Berkshires. It's my favorite time of year. John Got called in for a jizz stain, so can't make it out here. I called the girls to come out for some joy and birthday cake, but not Miss Sonia Morgan, and I did it for her sake. The tree is trimmed with tinsel, creepy Santas and more, and all was going perfect till Bethany called Lou a whore. I made it nice. I made it nice. I decorated, I cooked, I made it nice. You have no class, so kiss my ass. And if you all can't behave, you'll all go home. As a Jewish says.
Very fiddler.
I'm feeling all these feelings, and the room begins to swoon. The emotions are bubbling up, like when I saw my dead husband in a balloon. Lou accused Bethany of having her hair, and Carol's last summers are passing there. Ramona is rambling, Jules pistachios in pain. I need something to stop this, an old friend. It's called cocaine.
Yes, you good job, dear. You can get your job. No. You piece of dry cleaner. Don't call him dry cleaner. I made it nice.
Still going.
Getting to the end. Getting to the end.
It's Christmas morning. Now in the Berkshires, my friends have left a mess. Bethany left some skinny girl ham, and Ramona stole a dress. I don't remember much. We sang carols once or twice, but one thing I know in my heart. I cooked, I decorated, and I made it nice!
Oh. I was going to, like, halfway through the song, I go, oh my God, Danielle has to come perform this song for Dorinda next time she's on. And then you got to the cocaine thing and the husband in the balloon. And I was like, maybe it's good to keep it here.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I think it lived and died right where it should.
The
awesome.
music was by Mike Furman. I don't want to forget to say that.
That was incredible, you guys.
Andy, thank
this
you
was
so much
everything.
for coming.
Thank you so much.
We're so honored and blessed.
Thank you.
Very happy to have you.
Very happy.
Thank you.
Have a good time in LA.
Thanks.
Bye.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.